live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn.
And this is episode 77.
Oh, hey. Hey. Just wanted to say I finally got around to checking out your podcast, and that's really great stuff. Just thought I would throw that out there.
And that is from Steven Spielberg.
It's his cousin Henry Slinger.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Henry.
He's currently my favorite listener.
So,
well, my second favorite. I gotta say my uncle's my first favorite. Sorry.
And I have something else to
no
throw.
Offense, Henry.
And I have something else to throw into this.
Yes.
To throw into the mix, the promo mix here. So this is the promo mix at the beginning.
Oh, this is exciting. I thought it was supposed to come at the end.
Jeremy Brown was the director and kind of the producer, director of Mythos. That was the Friday the 13th that I shot over the weekend. And I was just there to hang out and help out. And I still wound up working really hard. And he'd let me direct for a while on Sunday.
Nice.
I directed a kill. But it was hilarious because you should have heard him say the story time with Mick. He story. Every time I would start saying something, he'd go, story time with Mick. Story time with Mick. Mick, story time with Mick. Story time with Mick. He goes, you got to listen to these guys' show. It's so good. And then it gets like about halfway through and I was like, story time with Mick. Story time with Mick. So
he said nothing about the circus music that Kurt Thomas's story time.
I don't think that you've done it.
Which is very infrequent.
It is very infrequent,
That's what makes it a treat. It's like a
intriguing
a treat. A special
an intriguing treat.
It's like a deep fried Twinkie. It's something you probably don't want to have every day because it'll probably kill you.
It'll definitely kill you, yes. In fact, either one of those will definitely kill you. Yeah,
right.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, if you had story time with Kurt every day, that would kill you.
Oh,
for sure.
Exactly. Ugh. Can't even imagine. So we are talking about
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. When the island's dormant volcano begins roaring to life, Owen and Claire mount a campaign to rescue the remaining dinosaurs from this extinct level event. I did that without breathing. Wasn't that good?
Yeah, that was amazing. So I'm going to ask right now, what did you think?
The last Jurassic World that preceded this one,
right,
was awful. Was awful.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
So this was better than that one.
Yes. This had a couple of moments, and I have to say that the end of this one, the last half an hour of this one, was entertaining. But the stuff for the most part, the stuff, especially the sequence of the ball coming down the hill. Oh my God!
I've never been a fan of those things.
That went on forever.
I've never been a fan of those balls.
Yeah, well, neither have I. But just the sequence itself was so, there were so many elements in it that just would not happen, that it just stretched credibility so far it broke.
But Chris Pratt, you got to give him credit for
the
twisty moves he did. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, see, and I have to tell you this.
That was at the beginning of this.
In the end, I liked watching Chris Pratt. I liked the girl. The girl, not the girl.
Not Dallas Howard, or Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, I was very impressed with her.
It's kind of sad that the girl that played the granddaughter was probably a better actress.
That's what I'm saying.
Dallas.
That's what I'm saying. She was the better actress.
Sorry,
really
Mr.
was.
Howard. Please come on our podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a subliminal message there for somebody.
Please come. Yeah.
No, there was some. There were some shots that really stood out to me, like the shot where she was looking in the window and there's something looking at her, and they kind of put them on top of each other.
Yeah, and one was.
And then the bed scene, that was kind of cool.
I thought
there were some good shots.
I'm telling you, the end of the show, once we got off the island, I really because the island was just killing me.
And Jeff Goldblum. One scene again. One scene wonder.
Yeah. Well, it was actually 2 scenes.
Oh, yeah.
But he was in the same place.
Same place. So, I mean, one day.
Same exact place.
One day of work, probably.
One day of work.
Just sitting there talking.
You know what the guy is making? He is making a Jeff Goldblum fortune playing Jeff Goldblum.
He's turning into the Busta Rhymes of movies.
Jeff Goldblum.
There was a while where Busta Rhymes
Jeff Goldblum
was in every song.
Jeff Goldblum film, Jurassic Park.
But Busta Rhymes was in every song for a while there. So Jeff Goldblum's like he's going to start appearing in all these different kinds of movies.
Yeah. No, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's all over the
like
place.
Hotel
now.
Artemis.
Yeah.
Totally different than this one.
Right, exactly. And however, he does plays pretty close to the same character.
Pretty much. He just plays Jeff Goldblum.
He just plays and he plays an irascible intellectual goof.
Yeah.
And that's him,
It's the apartments.com guys for those people who don't know who he is. Well, I wrote notes.
So you have notes for this one? Thank God.
I just took my thing off.
Because I've forgotten a lot of it already. I've forgotten the vast bulk of it already.
Bad cable. Anyway. So my first question I wrote down.
Sure.
I wrote down bone.
Go for it. Bone.
Question mark.
Bone?
So the beginning.
Yeah.
So this won't ruin it for anybody. But there's a beginning where they're doing something with something and they're getting something from somewhere. I don't know why they can't just turn around and take it back with them. They had to send it up to the surface and have this huge.
Well, you know what? If we're gonna get into like really, really picky,
well, it's not really picky. It's just
no. But I
wasn't logical.
I actually have a logical question.
And I know you hate it when I bring up logic all the time.
Well, okay, I'm gonna do it to you. Here's one. They were saying that blue was pure. Remember?
Yes.
Okay, but that's not true because originally, in the original. What were they all mixed with?
I can't remember.
They were mixed with a frog.
Oh. So,
Did you remember that?
Interesting.
So they're not pure.
No.
So somebody didn't do their homework right there.
0.0.
Because remember the fact that they were mixed with a frog and the frog actually changes its sex upon need for duplication.
Yes.
Was kind of a enormous error on their part because obviously the biologists knew a lot about something, but they didn't know anything about biology. I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. Thank you, Hedda.
So, I do have something to say about Dallas.
Okay,
Bryce Howard. So she was a decent actress if she wasn't trying to laugh or be dramatic. It was all. That was one line that anyway.
Yeah, she just seemed kind of just barely there.
I'll bleep out part of that line so I don't ruin it for anybody.
Yeah, don't do that because that was terrible.
So the most high tech facility, security is kind of lacking a little bit. This thing they created somewhere with something doesn't have a lock on something.
Right.
I mean, no lock.
Well,
really.
Yeah.
And then I'm sick of this. I have to get on my soapbox for a second.
Go for it.
These animals were not meant to be alive. They were.
Preach it, brother.
Yes.
Preach it.
So I don't feel like every Jurassic movie there's something where they're like, oh, let's have some feelings for these animals.
Hallelujah.
Let's feel for them because they're living creatures.
Right.
I say F them.
Yeah.
Kill
burn
them all.
Down.
Kill
burn
them all.
them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should be extinct.
I did not understand, because she seemed like a person that would have a lot of cats. See, and here's the thing. In my life, I have learned that there is a group of people, I'm not going to say who the group of people is, that likes cats. And they tend to measure everything upon its reaction to a cat. Now, I think that she was a cat person, and I don't believe it for one moment that she would trust any of those creatures alone in a room with her cat.
Right.
So, I smell a rat.
Well, I'm a dog cat person. I would have one of each.
Yeah,
So I don't
no,
know.
I actually like.
But I don't know if I trust these
But
animals around either one of them.
But that's it.
Because dinosaurs are unreasonable.
Yeah, they're totally unreasonable.
I don't get it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, ugh.
Oh, I do have to mention Luke Roeder. He was a loader in the Hawaii unit. He did a good job loading.
Loading?
Yep.
Do you know what loading is?
Yeah. You got to load the camera, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
somebody's got to do it.
So nowadays, what do you load the camera with?
Little
chips?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, it's not film. So.
Little what do you call them? Those little thingies.
Maybe
drives.
it's batteries now.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe that's all it is. Just changing the batteries.
Could possibly be. There was an element that I wanted to bring up that part of the reason that some of the stuff in the some of the things in the second half of the film that worked better to me was that I saw to a certain extent, they were using a more practical set of effects. Like when he's in the back of the truck with the T-Rex, I think several of those shots were filmed with an animatronic creature. I don't think that it was all. I mean, when he was dealing with the needle and when the eye was right there and all the rest of that, I don't think that all of that was was CGI. I think some of it was actually practical because it looked different.
Well, that was one of the things I liked about this one more than the other one, the last one. This one did a lot of stuff. I think they were trying to go back to the first one.
Yeah, I think that there was
a lot of things crawling under tables, things that were similar.
Right.
But the effects. I think they're trying to go back to some of the old.
I think that some of them were
because there was a lot of digital stuff in the last one.
Yeah, Jurassic World I didn't think was very good. I mean, I liked Chris. You know what?
The Lost World was pretty decent.
Without
Jurassic Park was good. The first one was amazing. Jurassic
the
Park
first one was amazing.
Then there was 2 and 3. Then there was Jurassic World. There's so many of them. There's too many.
How many did I say? I say this was the 7th. I think I said this was the 7th, right? 1, 2.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I was talking about the one that came out in 97, I guess it was, The Lost World. That was like the second one, I think,
That's the second one. Yeah, the second one was terrible. I mean, the second
third one, Jurassic Park 3. I never saw that one.
To me, like I said, I saw the first one. I saw the second one, but it was such a step down from the first one.
This one, I think, actually redeemed itself a little bit.
I think it did at the end. It kind of worked from, it was at the beginning, I just didn't even care at all. And by the end, I'm going to say that, Chris Pratt actually sold me on it.
Right, yeah.
And bringing in the young girl, were the only interesting things that happened.
The older lady that took care of the girl was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, but she had a very kind of not really much to their character, but
yeah. So,
but no, Chris Pratt he's very watchable, and I like him a lot in Guardians of the Galaxy, which this had a lot of things that were similar to that.
Right? No, it's true. There was kind of that
Star-Lord,
little
Star-Lord qualities there.
Well, there was the ship, which would be their house. Right. All you do is replace the ship with the house, and it's very technologically and it isn't doing anybody any good.
Right.
I love that there's always that technology that proves to not be enough to beat down the good guy.
Yeah.
So technology sucks is how I hear it.
Technology will always turn on the bad guys, I guess. I don't know.
It does. It does.
I'm trying to remember that guy that was in the so there was a guy that was an auctioneer in this one, and I can't remember the actor's name, but he's been in a lot of stuff, and I was just curious how many things he's been in. So how would you rate this one?
Well, that's a good question.
Is that where you were going with that?
Yeah, I was. That was exactly what I was going to ask.
How many dinosaur teeth would you give this one?
You know what? I'm gonna give it a 3.2. It didn't excite me.
I'm probably at a 3.
Yeah,
Really.
really.
So the last one I'd probably give like a 2. So this one actually.
So now you're embarrassing me
Well,
because
you like the practical effects that they use, so that's probably
actually,
why you
okay.
rated it more.
Well, thank you.
So I'll give you credit there.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't trying to be under you. I was just.
You know what?
I was even less excited than you were probably. There were like 3 shots I got excited about, and that's about it. But the first one, there's shot after shot after shot that I was excited about. Of course, I saw that
Right.
a while
Well,
ago.
yeah. I mean, the first Jurassic Park was amazing.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you that the 80s, in the 80s, we really started that mixing a lot of effects into sequences to do really big things, and that was kind of one of my specialties.
Story time. Story time. It's story time with Mick. Story time with Mick. Story time with Mick. Story time with Mick. Story time with Mick.
When I did Hercules, the new element that had come in was digital, and the problem was, and we were having a problem. We were having a problem in mixing the digital. K&B was doing a lot of practical effects for us, like makeup effects, like a monster. But then we were having Weta do our optical effects. And Weta was just starting out. I mean, they hadn't done that much in the way of optical effects. Of course, they went on to do, Board of the Rings. Mm-hmm. And we were having a couple of meetings about it, and I think it came down to the fact that there is a sort of a cut and stretch that you can do in animation that is impossible to do in real life, and that as you're approaching a mixture of the two, that it's very difficult to cut in something that you've done like that, because the first thing an animator does when they see something and it's too flat and they're trying to get around their own digital foibles and stuff, they start to stretch, make things go a little bit less, more than naturally, which is like all the fight scenes that we have nowadays. Yeah. Every fight scene that you have in a film is now way exaggerated. Everything is a pull everywhere. They jerk stuntmen all over the place and stuff like that. But so we had a meeting in Wellington about this, and I was down at the meeting, and I told you about this, right? With watching the planes come over and all the rest. Did I tell you? I told you about the restaurant.
I think so.
Yeah, where we were sitting doing,
Yes, you were talking about heads turning around.
The heads turning around, right? See, that's.
And who was at the table with you?
Oh, well,
I find that fascinating.
Oh, Peter Jackson, and the guy who was running Weta at the time. And I can't remember his name, but also the guys from K&B.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Actually, it was Greg Nicotero, and so you had four major, I mean, if you include me, but four people who had done an awful lot of stuff, having that discussion about turning your head all the way around, right? I still, to this day, I totally love that happened. That in a foreign country.
Well, that's one of those conversations I'd like to listen to, but it'd be a great documentary.
Yeah. But you get the weirdest conversations
right.
going. I mean, what can I say? But I think I told you that my son, then he went down to Weta and he did a whole, he got to do his own puppet and stuff, and so this is kind of where I was going with this Ian now is 34, 35. And he's got a job, and his boss takes this story that he's told before, about him dealing with Peter Jackson and doing this and this. And every time his boss tells the story, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, until Ian lives for several months in Peter Jackson's home, and and Ian is amazed at that, at watching this, and it kind of goes with something that my daughter said once. She said, when she this is Khaki, when she went to college, and I took her, I would come pick her up on the weekends. She was living on campus, but I'd pick her up on the weekends. She'd come back and hang with everybody in Redondo Beach, and it was a 40-minute drive, unless it was, in traffic, in which case it would be 170 hours. But we would drive up there all the day, and we got to talking in a way that, that we really hadn't before, because we're locked in a car for that long. And she goes, and she mentions this about at the end of her first year. She goes, I have this thing that I've noticed that, for one thing, these people are all way more wealthy than we are, way more wealthy than we are. All the people that she's dealing with are like literally, she got to go out and party on like a couple of yachts, while she was at UCLA. That kind of money, super money. And she goes, and here's the funny thing, though. The funny thing, though, is that from the beginning of the year, they had stories about their parents that changed over the year because they were just too boring to stand the test of time. So she said she would notice all of these stories changing and stuff. And she goes, the thing about you and Mom is I don't have to change my stories at all. They're so dumbass weird. Anyway. Right. She says, I got stories for a whole lifetime. I never have to go back. I don't have to go back and revisit the same story, for 4 years. I've got this whole call. I've got, and I think that she wound up graduating in 3. So, she didn't have to repeat a story, and they were good.
Right. Well,
she had the good stories. So there you go. So
she should have a story time.
Yeah. She should have a story time. Yeah. But she's not really the talker on I don't think that she would be a podcaster, a great one. Alex would be good. Alex actually did have a podcast every once in a while where she and a friend of hers would talk about absolutely nothing.
Oh, kind of like us.
Yeah, kind of like us. Yeah,
except for we kind of act like we're talking about something.
Well, we do, but hello. So anyway, there you go. And the food was really terrible in New Zealand.
But they had great boots.
Had great what?
Boots. Like
boots?
Yeah, Wellingtons. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Wellington. Well, You know what? One thing I got when I was down there that was really cool was it was an oiled jacket. You ever seen oiled cotton? It's like it was like a green jacket that was it was permeated with oil and wax.
Huh.
And it was cotton with a wool lining. It was just the coolest thing. I mean, because it didn't have to be very thick, because the wax by the waterproofing of it was really, really warm.
Huh.
And
wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Different
just
area.
Opened up my world.
It's new now.
You hear the music? I hear harp music.
Yeah, I mean it's like part of there's new sandwich wraps that people make that are wax permeated cotton.
right. Okay,
It's the same thing, but make a jacket out of it. That was great.
Oh, I'm gonna go to Subway and make a jacket out of those sandwich wraps.
Well, there you go.
There we go.
Hey, you know what? I think it's time we went to Subway.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, bye.
They're not actually paying us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. By the way, I really love our music.
Yeah, me too. This is Kurt Thomas along with Mick Strawn. Thank you for listening to the Dream Warrior Review. If you have any questions or just have feedback for our show, we welcome them at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com. Of course, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter as well. As always, please follow us and tell your friends about us too. See you next time.